Hello, this is Susan Hayes, the Positive Economist, and today I'm going to go through online trading, how to buy and sell shares, as part of a series of videos called investinginyouth.com, Introducing Wall Street to the Classroom. Now what I'm going to do here is first of all explain how to get access to the software yourself. Now I have a link to it on investinginyouth.com, which I'm on the home page now. So if you just go up here to module and click on it, it will show you all of the various different parts of the resource that I've put together for people who are, for teachers who are teaching this particular subject in transition year. So what you do is just go over here and click on online trading software. So as you can see, I'm down here in week 8 of the module, brokers and online trading, and you click on online trading software. So I'll click on that, and then it brings me where I can open a box like this. So then I save the file, and as you can see, it will download over 1 minute. Now while it's doing that, I just want to explain a couple of things. First of all, I'm not going to go through putting in your name, address, etc. like this software requires, because that doesn't add any value. You basically follow the instructions along. There are very little anyway. And if you do have any problems, please do send me an email at susan@investinginyouth.com. The second thing is that if you operate Vista and you download the software, you will download it perfectly fine. It's just opening it, you may have a problem. So how you actually offset that problem is right click and press it, run as administrator. Now I'll show you how to do this when we actually download the software anyway, but it's just a point to note. Now that it has downloaded, I'll double click here and I'll press OK. Now if you're happy enough to go ahead with the file, it has never caused any problems on my computer, but as you can see, there is a cautionary note, and press OK. Now you can actually run your software from here, and it's from here that I'm not going to follow through because I have done this already, and all it does requires for you to follow the instructions and basically put in your details. So I'm going to cancel that and cancel this, and I'm just going to minimize. So what happens then is you can download this and it saves to your programs. So when you go into your programs, you can go to Start, All Programs, and as you can see, my track is in here. So if you right click and send to your desktop over here, click on this, then as you can see, is what I've done is that my track appears out here. The other thing as well is that what I mentioned earlier is sometimes you may need to, if you're starting off in Vista, now I personally don't have the option here as this is not a Vista system, but where you have Run as Administrator, that's what you need to click on. Okay, so we'll click on My Track and it opens up. You need a connection to the internet for this to work. Okay, so we'll press OK and press Accepted, and we'll widen out this sheet. Now what is looking at me here is actually a watch list that I have personally created myself. Now, you may recall in an earlier video I went through how to get a ticker code in Google Finance. That is on an earlier video in the series investinginyouth.com, which you can find on investinginyouth.com, or if you subscribe to my YouTube channel you can also get it there. So let's say up here I have my first ticker code and I'll click on this. So say for example, instead of looking at CPL resources, I would prefer to look at Disney. Again, in an earlier video I would have ascertained that Disney is D-I-S, and I press enter. And then all the information for Disney will appear. Also, let's say instead I would prefer to look at a currency foreign exchange rate. So up here I have the euro sterling rate. So maybe instead I would like to look at the euro dollar rate. So I would EUR/USD and enter. And there's your euro dollar rate. It appears automatically. And you can do that the whole way down along here, so you can look at exactly whatever stocks that you would like to look at. You have 20 spaces. I'll just click back here and put it back to where it was. CPS-L, and there we're back to CPL resources. Now if you actually had an account with money in it and you actually wanted to trade stocks, what you could do is go up here to My Broker, click on My Broker, and as you can see, then the whole sheet is open in front of you. Now in this case I'm not going to go through an example here because it would involve me actually buying or selling a stock. Instead, the people who own the software have got a simulated trading platform, where as you can see, it's the very same. So what I'll do is that I go up here and I go to File, Create Account, and I give myself an initial funding simulated monopoly money of 100,000, press OK. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will first of all decide on the stock I want to buy. So let's say, as you can see over here, I want to buy CRH, Cement Roadstone Holdings. So I go up here and I put CRH-L and press enter. And then straight away the price appears. Now I'm actually recording this video at a time when the markets are not open, so not all of the information about CRH will actually appear here. I would have had the bid, ask, volume, size, etc. Right, so the quantity I would put in, let's say I want to buy 40 shares and I want to buy the stocks. I just want to buy them at the price the market is offering me, and I press send. So now I've three things to check. First of all, is 40 the right number? I haven't made a mistake and bought 400 or 4. No, okay. Next, is CRH the right company? In this case it is. And thirdly, is 40 multiplied by the last price? The ask price is what I should be looking for. Does that actually come under my budget? And if it is, I press confirm. And that's it. That is how you buy a stock. So what you need to do first of all is make sure that it's routed to the broker, so we can see that it has been. Secondly, we see that it has been received by the broker, and finally I can see that it has been executed by the broker. Complete fill, 40 shares at 13.18. And when I go to my positions down here and I press request, I can see that I have 40 CRH, and this is the current value, the current price versus the price and cost that I bought them at. And here's my unrealized profit and loss. Now I didn't actually make a loss in such a short time. This is a simulator at the weekend when the actual market is closed, so that wouldn't make any sense until the market is actually open. Now let's say instead of actually just buying a stock when the market, at the price the market is offering, let's instead pretend that I want to buy at a limit price. So I'll change my price to limit, and this time I set the price. So let's say maybe I want to buy it at 13.10 instead. Now what this limit price involves is not the fact that I can just choose my price and it should be executed. No. It would mean that I am basically sitting on the sideline and I'm waiting for the market to fall to 13.10, and at that stage my order will turn into a market order and go in at that price. Now there's two things here. One is that naturally I would be getting a better price if I could buy at 8 cents less, but I also on the other hand bear the risk that it won't fall to that, and that I may instead have to go back in and buy the stock at a higher price later on. So we're just going to go through the logistics for now anyway. So I'll press send, and there you can see again I check everything, 40 CRH, and at this stage I want to buy it at 13.10 for the day, so this particular order is good for the day. At the end of the day this particular limit will be killed. You can also, I'm just going to cancel this, and I'm just going to show you, instead you could choose GTC, which is good till cancel, which means that that order would stay there until you cancel it personally yourself. I'm just going to keep it at day. And press send and confirm. And as you can see, this time it's been received, so it's been sent to the broker and received, but this time, if you notice, it's not been executed by the market and complete fill. And why is that? Well, the reason is because the price did not fall to 13.10, so therefore if I go to my orders and I press request, I can see that I have my limit order waiting in the wings, ready to go in when the market falls to 13.10. And that is simply how you buy a stock. Now I'm just going to go through how to actually sell a stock. So what I bought earlier was Vodafone. As you can see, I have 23 Vodafone shares here that I bought earlier. So now I want to sell those. So what do I do there? Well, in this case I put in my symbol VOD-L. My quantity I have to make sure is the same as what I actually have down here, which is 23. This time I want to sell, and I just want to sell at the price the market is offering me. So I press send and confirm if I'm happy with everything. And now I check, is 23, just bring my preview order box down, 23 is the same as 23 up here. And please don't get confused if you have more than one group of stocks. Let's say if I move that box down further and I got confused with another number, because it may happen then that I might sell not enough stocks, and I would have to undertake 2 or 3 instead transactions in order to just get rid of the one holding that I have. So just make sure that that's not a costly mistake that you might make. VOD-L, that's Vodafone Group, I'm happy with that, so I press confirm. Now keep a very close eye down here on what actually happens. You'll see here VOD-L. Keep a close eye on that when I press confirm, because as I do it should disappear, and as you can see it's gone because it's sold, so it's no longer part of my positions. And that is how you buy and sell on a simulated trading platform. Bear in mind, as I said, if you go back up to my broker, everything is exactly the same. Your orders, your positions, everything is exactly the same, so you just simply repeat the process. Now just to give you a quick idea on what all of these do up here first. Portfolio is a place where I can actually create a simulated portfolio, and I could put in maybe the cost that I would have bought the stocks at, the number of stocks I would have bought, and how much would I be up or down now at this particular stage. The next one is Market Pulse. This will give you a very quick idea on, for example, up here, the most active stocks in the New York Stock Exchange. So let's say, for example, that I want to look at the UK Stock Exchange, and I wanted to look at the most up, most down, most active, and I want to look at that on yesterday's stock exchange. Then I would press request, and I can basically see what was up in most volume on the UK Stock Exchange yesterday. Then if I look at news roundup, this is, as the name suggests, all the different news roundups that I can actually gain. So if I want to get historical news, or I want to get all different types of news that I can. Personally, I don't bother with any news. I work on my own sources and I use myself as a sounding board. Then symbol lookup. Now personally, I always would much prefer to use Google Finance in order to find a ticker code, because it can be very difficult to do so. As you can see here, if I put in Vodafone, I can actually use this one instead. If I put in Vodafone and press send, then I'll have a number of different Vodafones that do actually appear. Now, the very same way as I instructed in the Google Finance video, always look for L or N if you're looking at any stocks in London or America. And then when you find the stock, so in this case we have two L's, go over and see which makes more sense. In this case it would be VOD-L, and I go out of that. So then I would put in here in my watch list VOD-L, and then Vodafone would appear. So again, I go back to my CPL, and that is how you buy and sell online, as well as setting up a watch list using the software provided by ODL Securities called My Broker. This is Susan Hayes, the Positive Economist.